Hey there! So, I know a lot of people get freaked out when there's an essay portion on a test, especially if you only have a fixed amount of time to take the test. And I know a lot of people get freaked out by the concept of a college prep school. And I know the bane of existence is having an essay portion of a test when you're at a college prep school. I know this because I live that existence. And recently in my hardest class, my history class, we took a test in which I spent about 20 minutes writing an essay out of 90. And I was the only person to get 100 on the essay. In fact, I was the only person to get 100 on the whole test. But so I figured it would be useful maybe to just read this essay to you all, so you can sort of get the structure for at least what this specific teacher is looking for. But the point of an essay, at least he tells us, is not to regurgitate facts, but to show that you know how to use facts to argue your point. So this essay, the prompt was using 3 specific works of art and literature, 3 total. Explain the revolution of ideas during the Renaissance. And so here's the essay. What are people like? The question has been haunting people ever since there were humans to ask it. With over 98 billion dead people and over 7 billion living ones, it is no surprise that there are a myriad of answers. However, more often than not, the people living in the same time period and culture will have similar answers. A change in time periods, usually associated with an idealistic shift, leads to a change in views on the nature of humanity. The Renaissance is no exception. During the Renaissance, people's view of people, in general, shifted to a humanistic one, as illustrated by Machiavelli, Michelangelo, and Jan van Eyck. The Renaissance produced a shift in the way humans viewed mankind. Prior to the Renaissance, Western Europeans believed in the great chain of being. They believed that everyone and everything was given its societal ranking by God. These rankings included whoever was at the top of the political food chain, and would later be called the divine right of kings. However, the Renaissance brought with it the idea of humanism, that people are more important than religion, and that it's up to an individual to cultivate their life. This is illustrated in The Prince by Machiavelli. The Prince is a guide on obtaining, maintaining, and expanding power. The only reason someone would write a guide on becoming a leader is that they think people can become leaders instead of being given leadership by God. Machiavelli believed that reason was true, and he was not alone. According to the Renaissance, an individual can do anything. A definite worldview shift. Humanism, the opposite side of the same coin as the Renaissance, produced a radical shift in the way men thought about man. Prior to the Renaissance, the primary belief was that humans were as valuable as worms. People roll around in their sin, totally depraved of goodness. However, humanism combated that belief. People started believing that humanity was not totally depraved. In fact, humanity is awesome and worthy of study. This idea is clearly displayed in Michelangelo's David. The sculpture is of the idealized man. Michelangelo spent a long time studying the body, then a long time creating the statue. He would never have dedicated so much time to the human form if humans were not worth it. His sculpture is a reflection of his, and the Renaissance's, views of man. Nothing like it would have been made in the Middle Ages, and it was only made during the Renaissance because of the shifting attitude towards people. The Renaissance and humanism brought forth a new view of humanity. In the South, the Renaissance produced aspiration and idealism. People can be awesome, but they have to work for it. In the North, however, Renaissance artists and thinkers were driven to see that people already were awesome. By virtue of being a person, someone is worthy of admiration. Jan van Eyck displayed this concept in the Arnolfini wedding. He painted 2 people getting married. They were not clergy or nobility. They were not idealized. They were 2 people who were worthy of being immortalized in the world's first oil painting because they were people. Van Eyck took a year to complete the painting. and he would not have done so if he did not believe it was worth it. He put himself and even his assistant in the painting. Even a lowly painter's lowly assistant is worthy. No one would have dreamed of painting a painter's assistant in medieval Europe. Clearly, this painting is a product of a shifting climate of ideas. The Renaissance is mostly known for its art, or for the Ninja Turtles named after four of its artists. However, art is just a lens through which one can observe culture. The radical nature of humanism is not about painting naked people. It's about why people paint naked people. The Renaissance's defining trait was the spread of humanism. That shift in mentality changed the world. And not only did I get 100, he wrote, like, bravo. So, that's an example of an essay that I would write for a test at my college prep school. And it's an example of one you could write at your college prep school on a test in 20 minutes. The basic idea behind all essay writing is simply this. You have facts. You have a point. Use those facts to justify your point. I hope some of you might have found this helpful. I hope others of you might have found this interesting, and I hope all of you have a great day.